Bravo, Dave. Another great video. Saying a lot of things, are we? I remember that day. The last day of the GWF. But I remember it a little different, Dave. I won't deny going to you prior to the match and saying, why don't we be co-champions? We created the GWF. We created that brand. And I thought wholeheartedly that there'd be no better end than to have the two creators, the two people who week after week created a masterpiece. That there'd be no better ending than to have them go off as co-champions. The fear that you saw was not of losing a match for multiple reasons. For starters, that brand that we built had the best wrestlers in our area. So losing was never a fear. For if I lost, I knew it was just somebody who I and you scouted, invited into our creation. So no fear. Not for that. And prior to that match, fear that I'm going to lose. That doesn't happen. No fear. The way I remember it was when you looked back at me. That uncertainty. That is questioning if I made the right decision to bring you along. To have you follow me into the promised land. The fear was of the decision to have you join me, not the fear of losing. But then it happened. The match that changed the GWF forever. You say that it is a championship that I don't deserve. Do you remember that match, Dave? Because I'm pretty sure everybody remembers that match. I know I do. I think about it every day of my life. But what I remember, and since there's no more video evidence, because after the videos were in your hands, they were either lost, destroyed, eaten. What happened in that match prior to the final three of you, John, and I? How many people did you get to tap out? How many people did John get to tap out? Nobody. The only person prior to the final three people to get anybody to tap out? Me. Every single competitor in that match, I made tap. You talk about fear and being undeserving. What did you do during that match prior to that three? And the way I saw it was that you assisted me to get John to tap out, which I don't necessarily agree with my decision. I will own up to that. My decision to partner up with you. I thought it was for the best of the company, of the brand. Two friends who created a huge entity. A brand so special. I couldn't think of a better way to end it than to be a co-champion with you. What a mistake. On numerous levels. But it happened. We got down to us three, and I wish it didn't. I wish John would have got eliminated well before that moment. But he didn't. And I was faced there with two friends. With a decision. There was no winning for me at that point. See, I thought that there'd be no better feeling in the whole world than to raise my hands with you at the end of the match. But there was no glory. See, when I was faced with that decision, it was either to go against the promise that I had just made to Dave and screw John Crumb over of an opportunity to be GWF champion, or to continue on what I'll say is a rampage and get them both to tap. But I stayed true to my promise, Dave, and we took John out. I own up to my mistake. I own up to my decisions. I admit what I had done. But don't mistake that. Not even for a minute. I made every single person tap in that match. My decision not to participate in the GWF revival has nothing to do with fear. Wrestling in the GWF made me somebody I didn't want to be. That day I lost a friend. Probably two. I made a wrong decision, and the GWF made me somebody I didn't want to be. I screwed over my friend for another friend because I thought it was what was best for the company. I was wrong. And I will never get that back. Yes, my family knows. I haven't forgotten about the GWF. Never will. But I own my mistakes. So yes, Dave, bravo on a video. Heard across the world. Calling Brian Johnson out. I'm not going to wrestle, Dave. I made the decision a long time ago that day that I would never wrestle again. But don't mistake that for fear. An opportunity to win the belt. I'm sorry. I told myself and made an agreement with you that I would forever be co-GWF champion. And I intend to keep that promise. Even if it was wrong, even if I regret every second of it, that's a decision I made. And I own it. I'm very confident in the fact that you will be able to host a very great event. You always were able to. And to call me out is a good try. Very good try. But it's just not going to happen. I've made my decision, Dave. And my decision changed who I am. But my decision wasn't made last week. It was made 10 years ago. Good luck.